My goodness, is he good. My goodness, is that Texans defense good. Houston, early in the season, looked buried, and now all of a sudden they look awfully dangerous. Number one takeaway, Harry.
Well, I had flashbacks last night. I started to say to myself, when was the last time I witnessed an ass whooping like that? 8 years old. When I broke the fish tank in our house and my dad got that belt, when he got home, he gave me every bit that he had in him, every bit of energy. That's what I witnessed last night, a complete ass whooping by the Houston Texans.
What was the sound?
Let's not do this. But it was
Lane Kiffin.
It was a dominant performance in every single way on the field, and you thought on the sideline as well.
Oh, I thought Houston ran circles around Buffalo, coaching staff-wise. Let's talk about the Buffalo offense, okay? 9 sacks, 8 sacks, 9 sacks.
8 sacks.
Twice they chipped them. Twice, meaning helped those defensive ends. What are we trying to accomplish there? The best thing you could do as an offense is throw the football away. There should be a consistent chip in helping those tackles on every single play. The problem is you didn't do it enough. The reality is the spin moves. Look at how many people are on the floor, the ground for Buffalo offensive line. This is a good offensive line that just got mauled. Every single time that you were in a cut splitters receiver, they trigger defensively as the corner blitz. You want to go under center play action. Here comes the corner pressure. That linebacker sees the tight end block. Here comes another pressure. Tell me who's open. If you're watching home, anybody open downfield that the quarterback could throw the football to? So you're getting pressured. You're not helping your tackles, and then you're getting covered up. This is a beautiful rush. Bottom of the screen, you're going to get a rush over the top, and what happens is the backside defensive end then spins inside. So they're strategically forcing Josh to climb the pocket, and then that defensive end spins into exactly where they know that quarterback is going to be. Down in the red zone, we got to get points on the board, create one-on-ones, and this left guard is just going to get smoked. I'll ask again, is anybody open down the field? Is there any place for the quarterback to throw the football to? You want to talk about a defense that knew how to rush, who to rush, and then how to cover? It was brilliant. Matt Burke, the defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans ran circles around Buffalo.
So what Dio is basically talking about, for Joe Brady as KYP, know your personnel and who you're going against. There should have been a game plan with more bangs and chips, and even with run plays, you come back with a tight end and you slice those defensive ends, so you're giving them things to think about, so they're not just teeing off on Josh Allen. But to not have that kind of plan, it's very upsetting to me, knowing who you're going against.
They chipped Will twice in those twice. Every single play. What did I say yesterday? Every play starts with 51. If you don't treat him with a chip every play, he's going to ruin the play. And he did on a consistent basis.
You know, all this conversation about Myles Garrett and about Micah Parsons, Peter, how about Will Anderson?
What's amazing is that you don't see the Houston Texans on primetime, and I think Dominique Foxworth on this show said, hey, why don't we just give Myles Garrett his respect and give him Defensive Player of the Year, even though his team is bad. Imagine a Myles Garrett for a team that's actually very good and a team that can go someplace. Dan and I did a Monday night game earlier this year against the Seahawks where the Seahawks blew out the Texans. Will Anderson was the best player on the field.
No doubt.
Going into that game, we talked to Will Anderson. He said he spent the entire summer working out with 2 players, Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons, and they worked themselves to exhaustion. Will Anderson is a great player. He's an even better player this year in year 3.
And Bart, you know what great defense looks like. And in the last 5 days, we have seen Patrick Mahomes be shut down by a great defense in Denver. And now last night, Josh Allen, these 2 legendary quarterbacks, really dominated by this Houston defense.
I mean, this Houston defense is outstanding. You talk about the guys on the outside. Let's talk about the activity and athleticism from the guys on the inside. See, when you have a guy like Josh Allen, what you want to do is distort the view, right? Because the same lanes that they use to run through, it's the same ones that they pass through. So you saw a lot of twists and stunts in the middle. That distorts the picture so he can't see lanes, so he stays in the pocket. And then you give the time on the outside. What we really not talking about is just on the outside, we talk about this personnel from the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Who are you going to throw to? When you have guys like you got Gabe Davis, Joshua Palmer, Kincaid, Coleman, Elijah Moore, McCall Harmon, Curtis Samuels, when you have all those guys, who's the guy?
Yeah, they don't
Who's
have
the guy
one.
that you can count on? Exactly. So you got Stingley on the outside, taking away your best target. Who's he going to throw the ball to? So that's why you can. That's how you can get there with 4, because nobody's open. And they did a great job in understanding the formation personnels and what they do out of those personnel groupings.
And Keon Coleman, a healthy scratch for the second time in 5
They
days.
have to have him.
Something wrong.
Well, I'll
there.
say something about that. So this is a guy, I've talked to the Bills about this, not a drinker, not a partier. He's a homebody. It's not like he's out partying or anything like that. He was talking to Tracy McGrady pregame on the field. McGrady, a minority owner of the Buffalo Bills, for a good 30 minutes. He's just not there yet, and they need more out of him maturity-wise. But this is not someone who is out all night and is missing games. this is someone that's just an immaturity right now, and they're hoping that he gets on that ball because they need him now. They need him now.
He was supposed to be the one who came into his own this season in his second year and became that threat that they clearly don't have. So Joe Fortenbaugh is here to be the voice of reason. And by the voice of reason, I mean the voice of betting. Because your job is not to overreact to what we saw, and I know you think everyone is overreacting.
This is a good win last night, but there's no more misleading result in football that you'll find than a Thursday night game in the second half of the season. Like, it's the toughest spot to turn around, especially when you're on the road. Buffalo was just in a war on Sunday with Tampa. Now, 4 days later, you got to go to Houston and face this defense. Case in point, a few weeks ago, we're sitting right here. Cincinnati and Joe Flacco beat Pittsburgh. What were we talking about the next day? If only Cincinnati can hold on and Burrow comes back. This Cincinnati team could be. Cincinnati stinks, but that was a great spot for them on a Thursday night game. Houston, good. I don't see them making the playoffs. You're what, 2-3? 2-3 on the road this season with wins over Tennessee and Cooper Rush. Your next two games are on the road against Indianapolis and Kansas City. You have a good defense. Your offensive line is still problematic. Your quarterback has been good this year, not great. And playoff-wise, in terms of positioning, tell me where I'm wrong. Like, that defense was great on a Thursday night at home with every advantage.
No. That defense has been great all year. It's been the best defense in football all year. This has been the best. This defense has kept them afloat. I think this team's in. After watching this team play last night, I think they're going to get in. One, this defense needs to be in, just for the sake of football. I think you guys saw the stat last night. No defense that's led the league in points, in yards, has ever not made the playoffs. What this has done, not only kept them in the float, this has put a ton of pressure on C.J. Stroud when he comes back.
How about the Buffalo side? Because I think that's what a lot of people are waking up this morning talking about. Houston defense, great. Yeah. Buffalo, this is supposed to be their year. Last night is the only game they played outside of the Eastern time zone the entire season. They were favored in every game before the year began. We thought their division was going to be bad. Now they may be hopelessly buried behind New England. What are the smart people in this stuff talking about with Buffalo?
You got 10 days to get ready for Pittsburgh. You'll beat them. You'll have Cincinnati the following week. You'll beat them. We'll stop panicking. But eventually, just because they win 2 more doesn't mean they're any better. Just because they lost last night doesn't mean they're any worse. Right. They're the same flawed team we've seen all season long. Receivers a problem, as we were just talking about. Offensive line clearly a problem last night. And the defense is below average. They've had these problems all year. They got exposed badly last night, but they're going to make the postseason. And then the question is, do they get a couple bounces going their way? Probably not. But the best thing working for them is that the big bad wolf is going to be dead and not make the postseason.
So I think what's going to help Buffalo when it's all said and done is that they own the tiebreaker over Baltimore and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think down the line that's going to be meaningful for the Buffalo Bills, but I do believe they're going to get into the playoffs just looking at their schedule.
Yeah,
I see New England and I see Philly. I think those are the only 2 games that they can lose left on their schedule.
Think about what he just said. He just said we may come to a place where a wild card tiebreaker could come down between Josh, Lamar, and Patrick.
Well, Baltimore's winning the division.
Lamar's going to win the division.
We're not worried about that.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. We think they're going to win the division. Some people at this table aren't so sure.
And Trevor Lawrence and those guys might be playing